Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Alex Yee. I'm a triathlete, and I'm super excited to be going to the Paris Olympics.
Hi, I'm Marion Franklin, a GB canoe slalom athlete.
Yeah, I'm Joe Clark. I am the Olympic champion from Rio 2016.
I'm Joe Fraser, Team GB gymnast.
Hey, my name's Emma Wilson. I'm a windsurfer. I'm really happy to be selected for Team GB for Paris 2024.
This is Anything But Footy, the Olympic and Paralympic podcast, covering the games all the time rather than once every 4 years. I'm John.
And I'm Michael, and we are en route to Paris 2024.
And I'm back in the second city in Birmingham as 32 men and women hockey players have been picked for Team GB this summer.
Hopefully it's our time to shine, and this squad has the potential to do it.
Any given day, kind of the top 7 teams in the world can kind of beat anyone, so it makes it really exciting.
And they'll be joined by Sir Andy Murray, who is off to Olympic Games number 5.
He is, without question, one of our greatest Olympians, certainly from a British tennis standpoint.
We'll have a full tennis team rundown to come.
As the countdown continues, the shortlists keep coming. We've details on the para taekwondo team.
And in our other news from the Games, we will round up the Paris 2024 headlines from rowing and also from archery.
And you can stay in touch with us anytime, Anything But Footy on social media, or check out the website, anythingbutfooty.com. So here I am at the NEC, kitting out, just hidden in the corner, trying to keep out of everyone's way, to have a chat with Michael and yourselves about the latest Team GB news. And it is big news, and it's a big team, and it's the hockey team. Great British hockey team has been announced in the last few minutes while I've been here, and 32 men and women have been named. And probably the headline of it was, and Michael, I'm a big hockey fan, as you know, during Olympics time, but probably don't know the ins and the outs week in, week out. So for me, the big headline was that Holly Pern-Webb, who is, of course, an Olympic gold and bronze medalist, and actually the girl who scored the shootout goal in 2016 that we all remember from Rio that gave us that gold medal, she will captain the Great British hockey team once again in her third games. The 33-year-old's been named by Team GB. They have won medals, the British women, in the last 3 Olympics. The men haven't won gold since 1988 and haven't won a medal since then either. A couple of the other headlines: Laura Roper has been selected for her 4th games after making her debut in London 2012. Like Pern-Webb, Lily Owsley and Giselle Ainsley will go to their 3rd games. 6 of the squad are returning for their 2nd games, and 6 are making their debut as well. And goalscorer Tess Howard is making her 1st appearance at the games after getting injured just weeks before Tokyo.
It's totally overwhelming to miss out so close last time through injury, and to be here with the rings on my chest is very, very special. So it hasn't quite sunk in yet.
Because being part of this British women's hockey team is quite a team, isn't it? It's written a lot of history in the last 3 Olympics.
Well, members of our squad here have written a lot of history, and I'm very proud to play alongside them, and I'm excited to make some more history with them.
Does it put a bit of pressure on you, knowing that you guys have won medals in the past?
We love pressure. I mean, I think the Olympics is just a place to go and celebrate sport and go and be free and do what we love. So, of course, there'll be pressure, but I think we will rise to that pressure.
Of course, we'll remember 2016 where the whole country ground to a halt, including the 10 o'clock news, to watch the women win gold medals. Hockey can and is a really exciting sport to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people love the fast nature of it, the excitement, the fact that you can score, in a few seconds, and the fact that it's a team sport, and you look out and you can probably identify with a type of player's character or style, and so I think in that way the nation can really get behind it because there's so many different characters to get to know.
When you're in a team of 16, when you've been in a squad of about 30, there must be a lot of people that are not coming to the games.
Yeah, of course. It's really tricky because you have personal happiness, but then you have disappointment for your friends. And I think our group generally is really tight knit, and so there's always mixed emotions. And I think what's really important is that our squad of 30 plus is a real squad, and we've been training together. We're full time, and so anything that we go and do in Paris is because of them. And I was part of that squad when it was Tokyo, and I really felt that my teammates, when they were out there, really credited the work that we had done in the build-up. So I look forward to continuing that.
You said you thrived off pressure earlier. What do you want to go? What do you want to go and do at these games?
I want a medal. The team wants to medal. I think we can, but I think anything can happen, and so we're not putting a particular colour or shade of colour onto that, because I think what Team GB have shown is that in any, we just said moments, and in any game, just like you saw in Rio 2016, moments won that game. It went down to a shootout. Moments won that game, and so I think if you don't go to the Olympics saying you want to win gold, then I don't think you should be going.
So Tess Howard speaking to me here at the NEC in Birmingham. Men's captain David Ames and Sam Ward represent Team GB for a third time. There are 7 men making their Olympic debut, while Jacob Draper, Rupert Shipley, Ollie Payne, Jack Waller, Liam Sanford and Phil Roper have all been selected for their second Olympic Games, and attacker Roper is looking forward to that challenge.
So it's always been a long process, and so pretty excited to finally put some of the special kit on. You representing Team GB is something that I think a lot of guys, and especially myself, have always dreamed of. So yeah, it's an exciting process. Everyone loves kit. Adidas and Team GB always do an amazing job. So yeah, pretty buzzing.
What does it mean for you personally to get the nod? 16 names, you to be one of them.
Yeah, special. Like, it's you don't take any of this for granted. What a unique situation it is every 4 years to get to pull this kit on and represent your country. Trying to be as grateful as possible. Make sure I've tried to enjoy the journey along the way, but knowing that this is where crunch time happens, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
And how is it when some people get told you're through, and some people get told you're on the reserve list, and others get told you're not coming?
Horrible. For the last 4 years, we've had a huge squad made up of 34 guys. We've had a really, really tight-knit culture. So any one of them moments is really difficult. Thankfully, I think we've been leaning on each other. We've been making sure we're supporting each other. We always knew this was the deal. So I think that's one of the things that we have to accept, that only 16 can go. But anyone can step in at any time, and I'm confident that we would still be successful.
Talk to me about your form, because you're 5th in the Pro League at the moment. I know you've got some more games before Paris as well, but you're riding quite high at the moment.
Yeah, just come back off a lot of wins, a couple of losses to Australia, but we want to gather momentum going into the games. We want to make sure that we're peaking at the right time, and thankfully we've been doing that. It's a really enjoyable group to be part of, to play together, play an attacking, exciting brand of hockey, which I think the fans like, we enjoy. So yeah, I've just been really enjoying it.
And you've got more games to come out in Utrecht in the next couple of days, which just seems quite late before an Olympic Games. And I suppose always that fear of injury in your back of your head type thing.
Yeah, you can't ignore it, but at the same time, we know that they're important games. That you have to prep at the highest level to make sure that we're going to be going in to the games feeling good. So it's also a great challenge to play Germany and Belgium, two other top teams. Like setting down a good marker for ourselves going into that first game against Spain.
You talk about the first game against Spain, then I think it's South Africa, France, the Netherlands, Germany. Yeah. Maybe not that in order, but it's a tough group.
Really tough. Hockey in the last 4 years, there's been such a deep group of international teams that I think could be successful at these Olympics, which makes it super interesting, hopefully, for the fans to watch. No easy games. The top 12 teams in the world, there's no easy games. To give everyone respect, but we know we believe in ourselves to do a job.
So there you go. That is Phil Roper speaking to John after selection for Paris 2024. 32 players confirmed. You can check out the full list on our socials. You can find Anything But Footy on all of the platforms. We will also see 6 who will actually travel as reserves as well. And we should spare a thought for the likes of Alan Forsyth and Nick Banderak, who have missed out on the 16-man men's squad. And John, I know obviously you were watching Great Britain, both the men and the women's team, in the Pro League at the Olympic Park in London recently. And in your feeling at the moment, as it stands, the men have a better chance of a medal than the women?
Yeah, I think having spoken to both sides and both teams today, both of them think they can go and get medals. Both David Ames and Holly Pern-Webb have told me for TalkSport that they can both go and get medals, the men's and the women's team. The men are in better form, so over at the Pro League at the moment that you mentioned, they're 5th in the table. They play Belgium and Germany twice in the next couple of days out in Utrecht, so we'll see even more what their form is going into Paris in the next few days. The women are out there as well, playing the same teams over that 4-day period. The women's team are 7th in the Pro League at the moment, but Holly Pern-Webb said to me, look, any of the top 7 can beat anyone in the world, and that's how they have gone and won a bronze medal at Tokyo, which no one expected them to do, and even that gold medal when they beat the Netherlands. And by the way, the Netherlands in the Women's Pro League have played 12, won 12. That's how good they are in the women's kind of competition at the moment. But the men, Paul Revington, the head coach, he told me the other day, we're focused, we're going to take it one game at a time. And Great Britain are the 4th best Olympic hockey team in the history of the games. So we've won 13 medals, 4 golds since it came into the sport in 1908. I think it's about time the men got a medal. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed that both of them will be able to come home with some silverware.
And a bit of history as well, because we know that Paris hosted the 1924 Olympic Games, and this is, if you like, the only remaining venue, the hockey venue. We go back to where it was 100 years ago, so that's really neat, I think, actually, for Paris and the Olympics and the IOC.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And David Ames sort of spoke to me about that first opening game against Spain, which is 10 a.m. the morning after the opening ceremony. So none of the hockey team will be going to the opening ceremony, I can tell you that for starters. But he was so pleased that, yes, we're back in the athletic stadium as it was in 1924. It's been converted for a hockey stadium, a hockey big blue pitch. It's going to be an impressive sight. And as you say, a bit of history back to those games.
Now, this feels wrong. You're letting me do the tennis news. Are you sure? Are you sure? Is this running order correct?
I'm happy for you to do that. It's fine.
Sir Andy Murray, this is normally John's bit. Sir Andy Murray is set to compete in his 5th Olympic Games. The 2-time singles gold medalist is one of 5 Brits named in the singles, which will be played at Roland Garros, of course. That is the host venue for the Paris 2024 Olympic tennis. And, interestingly, the boxing finals as well. But we've already spoken about boxing and the boxing team, so let's concentrate now on the tennis. The others, Jack Draper, the new British #1, Cam Norrie, who you might recall, bit of controversy, decided not to compete in Tokyo, but he is going to be in Paris. Dan Evans will be there, along with Katie Bolter, who's just retained her WTA Nottingham Open title at the weekend as well. In the process, she beat Emma Raducanu, who has turned down an Olympic wildcard. She was offered the opportunity to play in Paris. All current former major winners get given that option. Murray is going, Raducanu isn't. In the men's doubles, Neil Skupski and Joel Salisbury will be representing Team GB. And there will be more doubles partnerships still to be announced, as Ian Bates, the Team GB tennis leader, explains.
Andy Murray has an ITF place. There are two, again, for those that aren't knee-deep in the rules of the acceptance, which I feel like I've been for some time. There are 2 spots reserved for for Grand Slam champions or previous gold medalists, of which Andy has been offered one of those on the men's side.
So I hope you're keeping up with the ins and outs on how the doubles partnerships will be selected for Paris 2024. We did mention, though, and we'll talk about this in a moment, no Emma Raducanu opting not to compete at Paris on the clay at Roland Garros, and Ian Bates also explained more on that decision.
We were notified on Thursday that Emma would be eligible for one of those places, and I've had certainly various conversations with Emma over the last couple of weeks, and indeed across, I guess, a slightly longer period, where it's really clear to me how much being part of a team at the Olympics would mean to her. Mm-hmm. And obviously we saw how much that meant to her when she represented the team in April in the Billie Jean King Cup tie. But I think she also feels that this isn't going to be the right timing for her for this summer. I think a lot of that is obviously in the late notice of the spot. I think there's the bit around, the surface change between grass and clay and hard. Mm-hmm. Everyone's aware of her history and the double wrist surgery from last year. That places a greater stress on her. And of course, there's the element of where her ranking is currently. That getting to the US. Potentially, keeping on pushing her ranking back towards where we all hope it will be is really significant for everybody, I think, to see her back at the top of the game.
Ian Bates, the Team GB tennis leader. So, Michael, you explained the tennis team incredibly well. My opinion is that Emma Raducanu has made a very interesting decision not to go to the games, and a raised eyebrow is how I would do it. I think she's playing herself into a bit of form at the moment. She got to the semi-finals of the Nottingham Open, as you suggested. She's also going to go to Wimbledon. Now, she has said she doesn't really like the clay surfaces of Roland Garros, but you don't always get the chance to compete in an Olympic Games. It's interesting, as you mentioned, that Cameron Norrie didn't go to Tokyo. He was in the world's top 10 at that point, decided not to go. He's now dropped out of the top 25, I think, even the top 30, and suddenly, I think I will go to the Olympics this time. And I wonder whether it's very hard to pick and choose whether you go or whether you don't go. And actually, you should take the opportunity when it arises. You asked Jasmine Sawyers whether she really wanted to go to the Olympics this summer in athletics. She did. She prioritised that. She got injured. She's now not going.
Yeah, I think Emma Raducanu is making a decision on the here and now and this summer, isn't she? Because she knows that to go from a grass court season, then onto the clay for the Olympic Games, and then heading towards a hard court season in the US would be very difficult. But 4 years is an awfully long time in sport. And we've had this conversation about track and field. You mentioned Jasmine Sawyers, about athletes picking and choosing. And you don't get many opportunities in a professional elite sporting career to play at major championships or to compete at major championships. That's always been my criticism of some of the track and field athletes, that they choose not to go and compete at something like a Commonwealth Games or maybe a European Championships. I think you get even less opportunities to go to an Olympic Games. And Emma Raducanu, better than anyone, will know how quickly the highs and lows of sport can change. From, that against all odds victory in New York to where she's been over the last couple of years. I would think, but I'm not an elite sports person who's hoping to get back to the level that she was at a few years ago. I would think if you're offered the chance to go and play at an Olympic Games, you would take it. Clearly her and her team are looking at the here and now. They're looking at the fact that she's had this big wrist operation, which Ian Bates has talked about there, and maybe it's just one tournament too many, one change of surface too many. And I hope that it's a decision that she doesn't regret, and I hope that in LA she goes there and, we are sat here in 4 years' time talking about Emma Raducanu being a real contender and winning a major title on US soil.
Yeah, I just think the contrast with Andy Murray, who's going to his 5th Olympics. He went in 2008 to try it out, to gain some experience, and then he went to London to win it, and he went to Rio to win it. And it would have been nice to have people. I mean, I'm not saying that the likes of Bolter and Norrie can't win the singles, but it's probably unlikely. But it would have been nice to have that opportunity to support another female singles player out in Paris, because Katie Bolter is the only Brit, as you say. Anyway, I could talk about tennis all day, as you well know, but we will run through some of the other news from the games.
I'm surprised you let me do that bit, to be honest.
Because great British men and women's archery teams have qualified for Paris 2024. The British women, including Bryony Pittman, helped secure 3 qualification spots for Archery GB by reaching the semis of the team recurve at the final World Olympic qualifying tournament in Turkey at the weekend. And that was great news. It was even better news because the men followed them. Connor Hall, Tom Hall and Alex Wise beat favourites Brazil to reach the semis, and they qualified for Paris, and in the end they also won a bronze medal. So great news for Archery GB.
The British para-taekwondo team have been confirmed for Paris. Beth Munro, Amy Truesdale, Matt Bush, these will be familiar names, all in the team. Silver and bronze Paralympic medalist Beth and Amy back for Paralympics GB then this time around. And Matt, the 2-time world champion, will make his debut after missing out on Tokyo through injury.
And Great Britain won 5 medals on the last day of racing at the World Rowing Cup 3 in Poznan in Poland. Ben Pritchard won the first international gold, or his first gold, in the men's para-single sculls. World champions Greg Stevenson and Lauren Rowles maintained their unbeaten run in the mixed para-double sculls with gold. And it was the same for Frankie Allen, Gidra Rakutskat, Morgan Weiss-Noyes, Ed Fuller and Cox Erin Kennedy in the mixed Cox 4. They were also victorious. And what was quite nice, I thought, was that the British rowing team were also presented with the overall World Rowing Cup trophies in 4 boat classes, the men's 4, 8 and the women's lightweight double sculls, as the development rowing team took over in those events for British rowing ahead of this summer's Olympic Games. But another accolade for British rowing heading into what could be a super successful Paris 2024.
Yeah, and that venue looks terrific. The rowing and the canoe slalom venue co-located together. Of course, the sprint canoeing will then go on to the rowing lake as well, and it does look absolutely spectacular. And I think the plan is for me and TalkSport to be there on the first morning, so I'm looking forward to that.
We are very much looking forward to that. You will be back in Birmingham soon, Michael, no doubt, because we have more Team GB announcements to come this week. We'll also have a second episode of the pod this week as well. Keep an eye out for that. Check out our socials, Anything But Footy, on all of the usual platforms, anythingbutfooty.com. We've got the Spotify Olympics music playlist. Your song has been added, Michael. That is on there. What was it called? The Tokyo Melody?
Yep.
That is on there. I guarantee it's there for you.
I've heard it.
Good stuff. So check that out as well and stay with us. We're en route to Paris 2024, the Olympics and Paralympics.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.